Of antiquity.
Of antiquity.
Antiquity. That's an interesting thing to be a hero of.
It is.
A hero of antiquity. But why?
Yeah, but why? You know what? Maybe he really just likes selling his wares, man. He is a champion of his own product.
Well, here goes. The Swordcraft deck has been let through, so.
And now, Daria. That's the deck being banned out. You know what? I cannot blame any of our players for doing this. Daria has looked so strong. Get it out of the pool. And Shadowcraft, interestingly enough, if you've noticed, has not been a huge part of this tournament today. Was the third most played deck overall, and not a lot of our top tables are playing it at all.
Andeemon, though, is doing very well with it here on the winner's end. Let's see if he can continue that against Skysama, or if he's going to be stopped by Vengeance Blood.
That's right. Vengeance Blood, apparently, you know, Mana Surge right up there with Disastra, thinking that it's a really good way to counter Dragoncraft, and it's really good to see these players making it to the later stages of the tournament.
Never missing Skull Ring.
Never. Never on stream as Skull Ring missed.
To be fair, it's only going to be a Demon Eater, if at all.
So far. If another 2-drop does happen before this Necromancy runs up, it could be that.
Yeah. Could be. Gets more Demon Eaters, which is nice, right? It's not that much of a downside in the sense of, you know.
Absolutely.
Because if you play Demon Eaters, that means you got the card advantage.
And I love the value trading, especially before a Prince Catacomb term. Perfectly lined up against Andeemon here, who was expecting to play that Prince Catacomb.
Yeah, Skull Ring into Catacomb is quite dangerous.
Ooh, and this is an interesting draw. So you can kind of make a cutesy play here. I don't think you need to make a cutesy play, but you could do something with Belness and Demon Eater to try for extra removal here. But you also have the option of just playing the Belness with the Zombie Party to clear most of this board out, and I think that's the best option.
Here comes the Belness, and yeah, I think you're right.
Cheeky or no? No. Okay. Now, here is a possible situation for Skysama. If he does get rid of that Belness, it could come back. And that's a much more potent threat than a Demon Eater. So,
and you don't really want to leave 4 damage on board.
Right?
All right. I think you 100% of the time want that pain to go onto the Goblin. Oh my god.
Perfect. Let's see. Aha.
Wow.
Aha.
Wow.
Now, Necro Assassin's a juicy play, but again, it has to turn the right way.
Well, I mean, 50-50. Worked for Skysama last turn. It's going to work for you this turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That means the evolve play here.
Yep, probably
Belness will crash into the Belphegor and remove both the cards.
We're trying to push Andeemon into making a lucky style play, and Andeemon's just like, come on, man, I know how to play this game.
We wish to be entertained.
Yeah. I'm going to play the best way possible, okay? And you know what, Andeemon? It shows. Good on you, man. Great plays.
It certainly is showing. Skysama in this scenario where he's got to activate Vengeance, and the board is not necessarily strong for Andeemon, but I would say this is still a midway game because Andeemon is actually quite healthy, all things considered.
Right.
Which is always very good for Shadowcraft. I think Shadowcraft performs much better if you're getting into play point 7 at above 15 health.
That's absolutely right. And if you look at the board that Skysama presented, not easy for Odile to take care of. And that's usually the biggest play that Shadowcraft has on 6. And really, there's not an amazing play to be made here. 2 Prince Catacombs in hand feels really bad with the way that Skysama's been controlling the board.
Yeah. The Andrea Alphas doesn't really punch up to the values that you need. Do you Aisha and swing twice?
I think Aisha is probably the best play here. Also, it allows you to take the least amount of damage from that Urias, because you're only getting to play 1 follower this turn. And you don't have to expend your shadows. This is the first turn, you know, going on to the later turns that you're not actually going to expend those 10 shadows early, so I think it's a really good play here. I mean, honestly, if you look outside of that, I mean, the only other play really is like Andrialphus Necro Assassin.
Relax. Your death will be swift.
That's actually
I'll show
yeah. Swing twice. I always need to remember for Aisha, gain storm on enhance.
Right.
Can only storm on turn 10.
And I like it getting the most value possible. This will allow an extra 4 damage from Skysama, which is not really what you want to have happen, and that Scarlet's Brewer is just going to punish this play so hard.
You're going to be able to reset that Vengeance if he chooses to do so with a Razor Claw, and I like that you can wait, because if you draw something off the top like a Dark General, then you can Razor Claw and put you into that state. The only thing is you did turn off Emeralda, but
at this point, you already have a Savage Wolf and 2 Razor Claws. This Ektar hurts so badly, dealing 3 damage before it even has a chance to clear anything.
And that's going to set up a from-hand lethal for Skysama.
Double Razor Claw alone will do it.
Wow, and he even just... Skysama just dropped it! He just dropped it on Andeemon.
Plays a Belphegor into the face of Shadowcraft and says, you know what? I don't even care.
Yeah.
Vengeance Blood's back, baby.
Wow, he's doing the loop-de-loop right now.
How did... You're mean.
Oh, I see. Psyching him out with the Savage Wolf.
Skysama is playing the mental game,
That's
too,
right.
here.
He's like, No, I got it. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Skysama. All right.
And he's about to continue
Bully.
his style train with Swordcraft now. If he can make this work, it's all down to this list. Is Skysama correct in putting his faith in this Swordcraft
Now, I know
deck?
we've been talking about Roland a little bit and how I used to hate it, and now it's probably a decent option because of tilting specifically. Do you run 3 of it?
I know, that's a lot.
Like, Front Guard General, you know, used to be like this really good card that you'd run, and now like Roland is a new 7-drop ward that you can be playing, but like 3 Rolands? You only get the Durandal off of 1 of them.
It's a 4/5 ward
Yeah,
compared to a
4/5.
Front Guard General who would have given you 2 wards on that last word effect.
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know.
Yeah, keep the Roland. Dang it.
Maybe against Dragon. Not against Shadowcraft. Shadowcraft, honestly, the only thing that really prevents the damage from is, like, it doesn't even prevent Ektar damage because most of the followers only get up to 4. It doesn't really prevent that much of Aisha's damage, you know, 2 of it. Yeah, I don't think Roland's what you want to see against Shadowcraft.
You know what else you don't want to see against Shadowcraft is cards with 2/1 stat lines.
Yeah, that is true.
I must return.
However, Homebound Mercenary, great against Shadowcraft. Can pick off the 1-attack followers of Shadowcraft and live to tell the tale for multiple turns.
For example, Demon Eater dropping down.
Yeah.
Homebound Mercenary can say, stop.
Yeah, get out of here. This is looking like a really good curve for Skysama. Really hard to come back. No zombie party in the hand of Andeemon.
Yeah, just the Andrialphus and the Demon Eater, which, you know, your Skull Ring is a turn late.
This is one of those matchups where it's like, okay, so the Swordcraft has more top end, right? If a deck like that actually gets ahead on board early in front of you, it is so hard to capture the game.
Yeah.
I feel.
Oh my god, and the Frontline Cavalier ready to go. I think you definitely save that.
The speed of lightning.
It's not enough yet.
Yeah, this curve is just absolutely
Off the
brutal.
1 damage followers, too. That's basically a free pump-up for your cards.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
How?
gosh. Oh no!
How do you come back from something like this?
I feel like this is shaping up to... And, oh god!
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly the feeling. And without actually getting a 2-drop in play before that Skull Ring was played, it's just going to pop out another 1/1.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you are just going to pump out the board here. In both the Swordcraft games that we see, its early game is phenomenal. This is incredible board control here. And maybe it's off the back of 1 missed turn for Andeemon, but it was a very specific card, a very specific answer, right? Andeemon didn't have the zombie party, and this has just gone out of hand.
Out of hand. And this is a late game Sword deck doing what Sword does and controlling the board. Very, very good stuff.
Even if you use something like Aisha to try to swing twice here, you can't take down any of those 4 damage followers because Aisha cannot get above 4 defense.
Right, so you can take one out, but she'll have to die for it. It's not a good. It's not a good turn to value. I think
Have
you're
to Soul Squasher.
well too far behind to start doing extra value trades here.
I think you have to Demon Eater into Soul Squasher.
Yeah, that is a good play, and you do have 2 Aishas, so that's also not a bad play. You can wipe out a good chunk of this board with it. Going for some card draw though.
Want to play? Less talk, more eating.
Okay.
This is probably going to take out the front line Cavalier,
Uh-huh.
just to stop some of the healing.
If you're going to Soul Squasher, then no.
I guess either way, you're doing both of them.
Yep. Do you leave 4 damage here, or do you try to leave a follower?
That is a question. I don't know if you can afford to value trade here. I just don't know it. If you allow Sword to get you sub 10 this early, I mean,
Plus it has
there's not really option around it, but like I honestly don't know as Shadowcraft, without having this abundance of wards, the Thanes being increased in cost and less in play in your decks, like you just don't have a ward for that Albert anymore, and you're just kind of too far behind.
Okay, this is dangerous. Oh, you're playing into the Odile.
Victory or death.
Day for a fight.
Eat up.
Yeah, maybe an oversight by Skysama
Yeah,
there. A slight
yeah.
one, but definitely an oversight.
Yeah, Odile is going to feel pretty good in this scenario, but you're going into, like I said, Shadowcraft never wants to go into the later turns at 15 or less health.
Especially not 10 or less, because that is Albert fuel. Now, all the evolution orbs are gone for Skysama, so this will be a little bit later of a game. However, this simple oversight here might be enough for Andeemon to come back into this game.
Yeah. Ooh, has a rush plus a clash 2.
Good play here. He could do that. Could also use the regular Lancer just to take out the Odile. Save the Lancer of the Tempest for later for bigger board.
So on Enhance, Lancer maintains a damage barrier, so he does not get traded out against. And he does
Bane.
also lose his Bane.
Yeah. Yep. For one turn, he gets the sweet effect of just staying in play and destroying something. And now Lancer of the Tempest, much better looking play.
And Roland does not look good at all.
Ooh. And a hero. We get to see if the hero plus Roland engine at the end of this game can actually take over.
That's really where I think the focus for Skysama is going to be, especially because that, I mean, you need to be very wary of Zombie Party Ector turns, right? Which I think Andeemon is very incented to push towards, because every time you're wiping out a bunch of Zombie Party zombies, we were building up the shadows for Aisha to come in.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. But with Skysama being at 18, there is going to need to be that double Aisha endgame. We've seen it win in the past. It's definitely a great endgame. And honestly, most of these Shadowcraft players, I kind of want to point this out. In the endgame, Shadowcraft only plays 2 as opposed to 3, Alberts in a Swordcraft deck. But they almost always have the 2 if they need them in the late game. It's pretty funny. We've seen that quite often.
We have seen it very, very often. I think it's just because, I mean, essentially it doesn't... Getting up to 10 play points is a long time, right? You draw a lot of cards in that time.
All right, good trades here.
Okay, here's the last evolution orb for Skysama.
Freebie.
Yep.
And now this is kind of like a must-kill target, but the Zombie Party in hand to deal with this Luminous Mage.
Do you try to evolve the Andrew Alphas?
I don't think you need the card draw at this point, honestly. Right now, it's all about presenting the biggest board, and honestly, that Evolution Orb might have to go face just to get some damage in, so an Aisha can win. I mean, it really just depends.
I do think, I mean, well, Prince Catacomb is probably the most dangerous card in the hand here for Andeemon. But we'll have to see if the Catacomb can actually get installed. Andeemon thinking very hard about this turn because I feel like this is where he takes a stand. Okay.
All right,
he's
looks like
actually
he is
going to use.
So essentially he's saying, my end game is better than your end game.
I
just
do
need
think
more
if he
cards.
hits another Ector, it could be very impactful.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah. Automatically. This effect is so strong.
This is another circumstance where a player plays the board wipe before the Bahamut, when the Bahamut can actually end the game. I find that to be very interesting. Like, Bahamut's played here, what happens now? There's no Necro Assassin. Of course, you don't know this, but there's no Necro Assassin. There's no Lurching Corpse. You just win the game off of the back of the Lancer this next turn. So you end the game so much quicker. Oh, there is a Necro Assassin. Never mind.
Yeah, there is a Necro Assassin.
Did not see that.
And he actually has a lot of draw options. I think any way you can get yourself into a snare where you Catacomb doesn't have the play points to do so. Oh,
there's the Albert.
Gosh. Close. 6 damage on the Albert. But do you blow away this board first?
I think you Baja. Yes.
What?
Interesting.
He's done okay. I respect Skysama for this because this could be the moment Roland was used. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen.
Roland might win a competitive game of Shadowverse.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
I find that play to be so less than optimal, though. I don't know if Roland is going to do enough to this board as to where Bahamut would have taken this out and made Prince Catacomb a null and void card.
Oh my gosh, and the Lurching Corpse is huge.
Relax. Your death will be swift.
Wow, spends all his shadows. Just does 4, but that's enough. Oh my god. The Andrealphus Evolve is coming in so clutch for Andeemon.
Did you play the Roland?
Oh no.
Why'd you do it?
Oh no.
But now we might see a Hero Antiquity come out to end the game after this Bahamut and kind of do its Durandal dance.
And the Exer. This Andrealphus Evolve is insane, Exo.
Yep. Gotta hand it to you. That was the play. Andeemon saw it. And why did Skysama play the role?
he wanted the achievement. The bet.
You know,
there can only be one first Roland win in the Shadowverse Open.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
You got to swing when you have the opportunity to.
I don't know if he had the opportunity. That put him so far behind in the tempo game, and now I think he's just lost to an Aisha.
If he presents enough cards on board to... Rare Aisha does 8, right?
Right. And not for a couple turns, but this game was so far ahead in Skysama's favor, and he literally just gave the turns back to Andeemon with that Roland play.
Don't let the light blind you.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yep.
Oh no, Skysama!
Maybe I'm gonna hold pat and say I was always right about.
Wasn't I?
However,
Okay,
we do
the
get to see
Skeleton's
it.
in, and then the Aisha in. That's it. And Andeemon crawls from the depths of almost certain defeat.
Okay, Roland has one more chance. Next match, this is the matchup it was made for.
Yeah.
This tournament, I need to see it.
Oh no, Skysama! Skysama, this is how tournaments are lost.
Literally lost from playing the Roland when he had much better plays to play. I think for the achievement. I think that's what it was for. Skysama, got to tighten up. But going into relatively what we've been thinking about, what we've been theory crafting, is a good matchup for Swordcraft. At least this Swordcraft list with triple Roland against Andeemon's Dragoncraft list here. However, Andeemon's playing regular ramp dragon, not tilting at windmills dragon, so maybe not exactly what he's planning to play against. But
the fact remains that you still have that tilting at wind, or you still have the Durandal that cannot be removed, which is a big difference in the matchup.
And if you're trying to win a lot slower like Andeemon is, maybe it's a lot worse than the tilting deck is because it can't get that damage in faster.
I think the question remains here for Swordcraft is, how do you get to a board state where the Bahamut still doesn't blow you out in terms of board control? Right?
That's true. We're going to find out here first. If Durandal hits the play, okay, guys, I'm making this statement right now. If Durandal hits the board this game, still, don't do it. Don't play it. Get it out of your decks. Never run it. Worst card I tried to give it its leg up, okay? I tried. But then it was played and you saw what happened. You saw it right in front of your own eyes today.
Oh, no. And this is interesting. I almost feel like Swordcraft in this scenario is forced to play resources, even though both decks are slower paced and control oriented, because you can't let the Dragoncraft player ramp for free, right?
Right. You have to apply some pressure in the early game. Absolutely.
The early Mars is nice, and the pass on the turn means this Mars, yeah, man, on the draw means it won't be able to, or on the play means it won't be able to get the Cavalier with the huge evolve, but
the extra defense boost that
still
Mars
no
applies
play.
gets
Oh
it
my
around
God.
even Ayala evolves and things like that. So it's awesome to have Mars stick, and this board is going to quickly run
Yeah.
away from Andeemon.
yeah, this,
Yeah.
I don't, there's nothing on turn 5 that even does.
No. This is
I think this was a nail in the
Insane.
coffin.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not enough. Heat up.
Every follower gets the defense, gets the clash,
And I
heals
can't,
for one.
I cannot fully prove my point because we're not even gonna get to Durandal turns.
no!
Oh my goodness.
And Demon!
It's still going to be ambiguous
Hey, there's
as to
the,
whether or not to run it.
There's no one
yeah,
else I'd
there's
rather
the
lose
consolation prize of
And
getting the Oracle on turn
Skysama
5.
will move ahead with triple Roland. Okay.
You know, this is something that we definitely have talked about before. Dragon, no matter how powerful that late game is, the early game
You have to
was
get
made
there.
weaker.
Yep.
That's a certainty.
Honestly speaking, if you play enough on the ladder or you've played enough with your friends, you will realize that Dragon can just lose if it doesn't have on-curve plays. Like, literally an opponent can just go, Goblin.